Beach, Virginia. We're in California.
You're welcome. Georgia. Thank you for calling. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this call underway. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the MIT call, or if you will, Millionaires in Training. This is the Monday Night Leadership call that we do within ZJ International to help continue leadership development. My name is David Moses. I'll be your host this evening. Speaking to you from Toronto, Canada. I was in California last night at our presentation in Northern California, and tonight I'm actually speaking to you from the Toronto presentation. I've just stepped out of the meeting which just ended, and I'm in another meeting room here, so there's a lot going on. We had a full house here in Toronto also. Before we get started, let me first acknowledge any of our guests online. If you're a guest on this particular call, please understand this is a leadership call where we generally discuss the higher level concepts, the habits, the disciplines, and the skill sets required to reach the higher levels of prosperity within ZJ International. You know, the six-figure annual income, or for some now in ZJ, multiples of six figures, and for a few, six-figure monthly type income. Obviously, at those levels, we need to be employing more than just a part-time effort of sharing the ZJ products. Now, if you're new online, you may have questions regarding our product. You may have questions regarding the company. I'm sure the person who invited you tonight will get those questions answered and direct you to the appropriate material to answer those questions. Certainly on Wednesday, we do a product-centered call in which we discuss everything to do with the ZJ International products. And that call is done with our formulator. But tonight, I want to focus in on basic concepts that relate to building a successful business in network distribution, working from home, creating leverage in our lives. And the area I wanted to focus in on tonight is really about what actually creates results, and ultimately, managing our time is probably the single most valuable skill / focus we can have. And why is that? Well, very simple. Each of us, you and I, have the same amount of time. We all have, generally speaking, 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day where we can be productive, where we can work towards our goals, towards our dreams, our aspirations, whatever that might be. Now, in our business of network distribution, many people create their part-time income and work towards a full-time income on a part-time basis. In fact, with all the people that are involved in ZJ International, in our organization, 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of our base are part-time. And Jim Rohn, one of my mentors, said it this way: I'm working at my full-time job. I'm working at my full-time job, making a living, but I'm working on my part-time business, or building my part-time business, building my fortune. And he's so right, because there's nothing like having absolute control of our own personal economy, our own personal security. And having our own business is probably the single best way to insulate ourselves, to protect ourselves, to build a wall around our family that nothing can get through. And a business of network distribution from the home, started on the strength of a credit card, is the best way I know to build a business that has no employees, no overhead, no receivables, no payables, and nothing but pure residual based on doing the work once and being paid for the rest of our lives. And so where does time fit into this? Time fits into this in knowing that whatever time we have available to put into our business, whether it be 2 hours, 5 hours, or 10 hours, or 1 hour, whether that be a day or a week, that we focus all of our activities in that given amount of time on production, on things that get us results, on things that will move us towards our goal, activities that lead to success. And it doesn't matter what our skill set is. Some people are really good at what they do, and they can put a little bit of time in and do a few activities and get a lot of results. Other people will put in the same amount of time, and their results won't be quite as big, or they won't have the same level of success. But once we know what our ratio is, our ratio of how many people do I need to pique their interest and then introduce them to a particular tool or presentation of our products, of our business, how many of those people do I need to talk to get a result? Once I know what that ratio is, then I can do as well as someone who has a lot of success by speaking to just 1 or 2 people. I just have to do it more often once I know what my ratio is. And so when we're dealing with time, the most important thing to know is to stay focused on the main thing. What is the main thing? The number one activity that will generate and lead to or generate success and or move you towards success is talking to new people, period. That's it. Exposing new people to our product and or our opportunity, to being able to have better health, to lose weight, to use world-class products for maintaining high-level wellness and vitality, creating a part-time income or a plan B, a residual income, and or even a financial independence type of income. That is our primary activity as it relates to moving towards success. Part-time or full-time, it doesn't matter. That is the main thing. That is the single most productive thing that we can do at any given moment in time. Plain and simple. That's it. The most productive thing that we can do at any given moment in time is to be talking to a new person. Now, whether that be a new person that we are speaking to personally, somebody that we're going to introduce, that we're going to bring on board, or whether that be a person that we are speaking to on behalf of somebody else. It doesn't matter, so long as we're talking to new people. So, what have I been doing as an example? I've been traveling the country, both Canada and the U.S. these last several weeks. I'm leaving for Norway on Wednesday, Sweden on Friday and Saturday, Stockholm. So I'll be in Oslo, I'll be in Stockholm. What am I going to be doing there? I'll be doing the main thing. I'll be talking to a lot of new people. There's going to be a lot of new people in Oslo. I'm going to have an interpreter there. Since I don't speak Norwegian. And we're going to have an interpreter in Stockholm. Right? And so the number one activity is talking to new people. It doesn't matter where. And I'm talking to them on behalf of somebody else that I brought into the business. What was I doing in California last night Saturday during the day, we were talking to new people. Lots of new people. There were 300 people in the room, and roughly 150 people of those 300 people were brand new at the event. So tomorrow, tonight, I came to Toronto. Well, what did we do in Toronto? We had 250 people here at the Toronto event tonight. Roughly half of those people in the room tonight were guests. So we had about 150 guests at the event tonight in Toronto. And again, I was doing a presentation, but the time that I put in tonight were to speak to 150 new people. And of course, I was doing that on behalf of the distributors who brought people to the event tonight. So again, when you look at the leaders in network distribution, in person-to-person marketing, the one thing that they've mastered, outside of mastering how to do a presentation or how to talk about the product or how to show somebody the compensation plan, how we get paid, the number one thing that they have in common that makes them a top producer is they invest. They put all of their time and energy and focus into the main thing. You know, a lot of people spend time looking at the back office and watching videos or, playing on Facebook, or they spend time busy activities or things that really don't produce results, but it chews up and burns up time. Calling people and having a long conversation that is non-productive, that is what I would like to call circumstantial, like my phone rings, I pick up the phone, there's somebody else on the line with their agenda, with their whatever it is that they called me for, and it takes me off track, it takes me off focus of the main thing. What's the main thing? Talking to new people. All of a sudden I'm engaged in a 15-20-minute conversation on something that is not relevant to moving forward. Not for me and not for the person I'm speaking with. Right? Now there's a time and a place, obviously, to be social, but when we're talking about prime time, and what is prime time? That is the time that I have to put in towards building my fortune, building my business, talking to new people, and so forth. During prime time, I don't engage in any I try to avoid engaging into any conversation other than talking to new people. Many times people will call me. They'll give me a call at the home. They've got some questions. They want to talk about things that are relevant. They're important, but they're not important during prime time. So I tell people, call me after prime time. Like at, say, 10 o'clock at night when I can't really be calling people to talk to them or prospect or talk to them about our business or expose them to our business. So manage your time. You control your time. Don't let anybody else control your time. If you're focused on controlling the time that you have to put in your business, and you're making sure that the time that you're putting in, is focused on driving new people to a video or to a presentation or to a conference call just like this. New people. I promise you this. I can absolutely guarantee you this. I can promise you your business will grow and you will ultimately become successful. Whether that is in 6 months or 18 months or 12 months or 2 years or 3 months, I guarantee it will lead you to success. Why? Because the law of the universe is going to kick in. The law of numbers is going to kick in. And eventually, somebody that you expose is going to expose someone who's going to expose someone. And eventually, a leader is going to emerge in your business. And all of a sudden, you'll find yourself at the top of the plan, you'll find yourself in momentum, you'll find yourself growing. I can give you a lot of personal stories, I can give you examples of where that has taken place within my Zija business, and for that matter, in many of the businesses that I've done, just by taking fundamental forward action and talking to people and starting the process, starting the ball rolling, priming the pump, and doing it every day over and over. In every case, in 100% of the cases, in 100% of each of those actions, it has led to success. It has led to a growing business. It has led to the leader that has exploded the organizations that I've built. So, you know, the underlying theme here is manage your time. Now, speaking of time management, let's take a few minutes and give you some basic fundamentals, and here they are. And most of you know this, but you need to know it, you need to be able to teach it, you need to be able to fully understand it, and you need to employ it, and you need to be looking to see, am I managing my time? So we'll talk about time management, and here's how it goes. 80% of the people will produce 20% of the results. And the 20% of the people in your organization will produce 80% of the results. In other words, out of all the 15 million a month in volume in Zija International, that is being created by 20% of the people who are the business builders. The 80%ers represent the bulk of the volume. They're the customers. They're the base, right? But they don't produce the business building results because they're not leaders, they're not business builders, or they're not taking on a leadership role. So 80% of the people produce 20% of the results, and the 20% of the people produce 80% of the results. But when we're dealing with time management, when we're dealing with time management, the 80% who produce 20% are trying to draw on 80% of our time. They're calling us for, where's the website? What's the address? How much does this cost? Right? They're asking questions that they could get answered on the website. They're asking questions that they could have got if they came to the training that they missed. They're asking questions that's in their distributor kit if they open up the distributor kit. They're asking questions that if I allow them to call me and I spend my time dealing with those things, well then I'm going to chew up all of my quality time. So the 80% that produce 20% when we're dealing with time tend to focus in on or take our quality time, and they will take up to 80% of that if we allow them. So here's what we do. When we're dealing with our organization, when we're dealing with our team as it relates to time management, the 80%ers, we work with them in groups. We work with them in groups. This is why we do conference calls like this one. This is why we do large events, so that we can focus in on the 80%ers in groups. And I invest 20% of my time with the 80%, and the 20% and the 80% of my quality time, the 80% of my quality time, I focus all of that quality time with the 20% who produce 80% of the results. This is what leaders understand. They understand that basic concept, they employ that concept, and they never deviate from that concept. I want to invest 80% of my time on productive activities. To invest 80% of my time on productive activities means I'm talking to new people that I'm sponsoring into the business, that I want to introduce into the business, that I want to expose to the business, and I'm investing the other remaining part of that 80% of my time with the leadership in my business that is also engaged in sponsoring and or introducing large numbers of people. And then they take only 20% of my time and I focus in on large events. And each event, as an example, on this Life Unlimited tour, is only an hour. The event's an hour. Okay, there's a little bit of travel time, but during that travel time, I'm investing the 80% of my travel time when I can, taking care of communication to the 80%, the 20% that produce 80%, and or I'm sending out communications to the 80% that produce 20%. Through various mediums, email, text, Facebook, and other areas to communicate and to continue to promote. So time management, managing our time, is the difference between success and or mediocrity. Managing our time makes all the difference as to whether we're going to be wealthy, whether we're going to be financially independent, or whether we are going to, work for somebody else. Why give? And I say this to everybody because I believe everybody's got the ability, has got the capacity, has got the God-given gifts to become successful. Why mortgage our lives and give all of our time on this planet to somebody else to build their dreams, to build their goals, to build their company, to build their business? And the answer is, we shouldn't. We should believe in ourselves enough to know that given the right vehicle, the right product, the right training, the right coaching, the right support, the right tools, we can put in a part-time effort and create our own fortune, our own dynasty, our own business. And the only difference is in how we invest our time, what we do with our time. We don't have a lot of time. Time is limited. The clock is ticking. Right? Whatever it is that we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, do it now. Do it now because the clock is ticking. The clock will run out. And whatever it is that we're capable of doing, why not get it done? And if not for ourselves, certainly for our children, for our grandchildren. Network marketing is the best way I know in the business world to get started on the strength of a credit card, to put a little bit of time and energy into talking to another person, to plug into a system, to do the work once, to get paid for the rest of our lives a residual income over and over and over again, whether we work or not, with no overhead, with no receivables, with no payables, with no employees, with no infrastructure, with virtually no risk. And we can have fun doing it, we can travel the world, we can work from home, we can have the time freedom, we can have all the good things in life, and we can do all of that right here at CJ International. It's a beautiful thing, and I would suggest to everybody, take a little bit of time. Take a little bit of time and make sure that you are conscious of what you're doing with the allotted time that you have each and every day to invest into your future, to invest into your fortune, to invest into your siege of business. Are you investing that time in productive business building activities? Or are you doing things that are busy time, that kind of feel good, but really don't lead to any significant production? Are you getting on conference calls and not having a guest on the call? It's great to be on the call. It's great to listen to various speakers and trainers and Russ Bianchi and whoever it is that you enjoy listening to. There's value in that, yes. But there's a whole lot more value in building your business and success if you're on that call with at least one or two guests on every call. And what does it take to have a couple of guests on the call? It's something like this. I call up Fred Holmes. Fred's a prospect of mine. I say, Fred, it's Dave. And I call him a half an hour before the call. I say, Fred, what are you doing at 9:25? And Fred says, nothing. Are you available for about 20 minutes, half an hour? Fred's going to say, yeah. Grab a pen. Write this number down. Dial this number and let me know what you think. It could be as simple as that. Can you do 2 or 3 invitations like that every single call for every presentation, a local presentation? Can you invite 1 or 2 people every day to go view the corporate video or the 13-minute video that is on One Team Worldwide? Can you invite 2 or 3 people to try our product for a week on the weight loss system? Can you do all that? And the answer is absolutely, of course you can. Everybody can. And that simple discipline of doing that over and over again, there's some things you can't guarantee. There's some things that you can. I can promise you this. I promise you this. If you do that consistently, daily, 5 days a week or 6 days a week, 1 day off, I promise you, the universe is going to open all the doors that are required to lead to success. But it's not a difficult formula. The only difference is that some people will do it. They'll just do it. And some people will just continue to think about doing it. And some people, for some extraordinary reason, just won't do it. Don't be one of those. Be one of the people that just plugs in, and you will reach your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, and you will provide the leadership for others to do exactly the same. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining us on Millionaires in Training. I wish everybody continued success. Be back from Norway on Monday, Norway, Sweden on Monday, and off to Maryland, Columbus, Akron, Ohio, Atlanta, Georgia, and we'll continue on the Life Unlimited tour. Thanks everybody for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. The lines are open.